Hey everybody, it's your fairy godmother Mint, and welcome back to my couch where I talk about things. I have been gone for a while. I apologize. Big news, I got a pup. Not a puppy. He's an old man. Oh, he's an old man. Oh, he sneezed in my mouth. Gross. This is Pippin. He is my senior chihuahua that I've just adopted. He is the sweetest little man. So cute. Oh my god. Anyway, today's going to be a little bit of a repeat video. I do apologize for anyone who is like, why are you making this video again? But I have to make another. Where do I start when I want to get on my witchy path video? It's crazy. It's just like the most asked question that I get. So I wanted to make a very quick reference video just so I can send this video to everyone when they ask me, where do I start? Do you have any tips? Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. I'm going to try to talk slower as well because someone was like, girl, you talk so fast. I'm like, I'm sorry. What kind of moisture is this? What is this? Ew, are you just licking my stuff with your funk? Okay, poor Pippin has really bad funk breath. He's going to the dentist next month because he has some teeth that are just like, you know? So first of all, what is the definition of a witch? Witch. Witch. One that is credited with usually malignant supernatural powers, especially a woman practicing black witchcraft, often with the aid of the devil or a familiar. A woman thought to have magic powers, especially evil ones, usually depicted as wearing a black cloak and a pointed hat, flying on a broomstick. Okay, well, there are obviously huge issues with those definitions because they sound like caricatures, and also they sound like demonized versions of healer women, which is what I believe they are. You can use the term witch to describe yourself if you want to. If you don't want to, if you feel like the word has too much negative connotation, you don't have to either. You can just be a practitioner of magic. You could just be an enchantress or a wizard or whatever you want. Myself, I call myself obviously a fairy godmother. In my line of work or in what I do, I act as sort of a fairy godmother. I find out what it is that you want to work on yourself, what kind of positivity you want to bring into your life, what it is that you want to work on in general, and I help you to craft a spell or to craft a candle or to just counsel you on doing that. Just like a loving godmother would do for their godchild, and that's how I feel. It depends on what it is that your path is, or you know, whether you want to use a title or not. There are different kinds of schools that you can sign up for online that do cost money, or if you're going to be going in it to yourself, just getting books and studying and deciding what you want to do, then maybe this video will help you out a little bit. The first thing I suggest you do is to get a designated book, a designated notebook for magic notes. Any ideas you have about magic, you're gonna write them in there. Any types of magic that you're interested in, you can write them down in there. Any types of uses for herbs, uses for crystals, oils, incense, you know, whatever tools you're going to be using, write down the definitions for those things, any notes that you take on your own magical experiences, meditation notes, anything that has to do with your magical spiritual realm is going to go into this book. This is going to be your book of shadows. I do have a video where I go to Barnes & Noble and I look at all of their notebooks, and if you're like me, you have a notebook problem and they have such beautiful ones there. So you can get any of those for your book of shadows. You can also make your own book of shadows like I did with mine. You can get one from the dollar store. It is completely up to you. You can design it any way you want to. You can put stickers on it any way you want to. You can crochet your own book. You can you can bind your own book if you'd like to. It's something that's going to be personal to you that you're going to be using all the time. So make sure that it feels like it's yours. So once you've got that book down, now you can kind of think about what types of magic you're interested in. If you have no idea about any other types of magic, you don't know what hoodoo or voodoo or you don't know what Wicca is, you don't know anything of those things, then you're going to start Googling it. You can totally use the internet to find out loads of things about magic just to get you started on which path you want to jump on. One thing that I do suggest you start learning about are the 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. These are going to be used in almost every ritual that you do. There are colors associated with the elements. There are emotions associated with the elements. there are creatures associated with the elements, there are gods and goddesses, there are herbs, there are crystals. Everything has an elemental association. Trees, flowers, everything has an elemental association. Writing down the elements and their definitions and everything that falls underneath that element is super important, because then that's going to help you to choose what colors you're using for your magic, what types of herbs, what types of oils, what types of anything, what types of ingredients at all you're going to use in anything that you're doing. So learn about the elements and get yourself a really good amount of knowledge on the elements. Also, remember that you don't have to do anything exactly the way anyone else does it. You can personalize it and customize it for yourself, because spirituality is 100% personal. It's you and the divine. No one else has to be involved unless you want them involved. It is something that is completely personal. I have to drink some liquid. Oh, I got this puppy in my lap though, sleeping. Is that all I am? Is a dog warmer? So after you've chosen your notebook and you've customized it to fit your desires, so once you decide, say you're interested in learning, let's just say fairy magic, for instance. If you're interested in learning fairy magic, then you're going to go ahead and Google it. Go ahead and use Google. Utilize the internet, people. I am telling you, it is wonderful. There's a wealth of knowledge on the internet. Google fairy magic, or whatever it is you're interested in. I'm interested in fairy magic. Go ahead and type it in to the Google box. Bam! Type in fairy magic. And then the definition will come up, there will be blog posts that will come up, there will be all kinds of websites pop up, and there will also be some books that pop up that will give you an idea of what you can pick out, what you can go to the library and find, what you can order on Amazon, what you can order on Barnes & Noble, what you can pick up at Barnes & Noble if you're a person who shops in person, like a person, instead of a, cave troll like I am who just buys everything on the internet. Or you can check Audible and see if these books are on Audible. There are so many places you can get books, and like I said, I made a video about finding spiritual books at the thrift store. Barnes & Noble does have a really good occult section. Sometimes it's under the self-help section, or sometimes they call it the new age section. Just go in and search for that section, or ask an employee there, whatever. Check out what they have. But once you find a book, say let's use fairy magic again as an example, you find a book that's interesting to you, then you can work towards getting that book if you don't have the money to get it right out. You can also take your little search directly onto YouTube, type in fairy magic, and see what YouTubers are talking about it as well. Of course, I will soon be making videos on fairy magic and the elements also, just to kind of, flesh out more of the learning on my channel. But there are loads of people who already have videos about that on their channels. So you can go ahead and start taking notes, make a section in your Book of Shadows just for taking notes about things randomly. Use little tabs and stickers and whatever. So go ahead and make a section, for fairy magic, type, and then write in, what it is, what tradition it's from, what it entails, and anything else that you find interesting that you want to incorporate into your craft. Once you've got your notebook and you've got some information about the elements and go to the library and pick up some books, then you're just going to get deep into some studying. You're going to find out some more history about witchcraft. You're going to find out some more information on what kind of tools you're going to need and different types of magic. And then once you get done with your first couple of books, and I do have a video about some books for beginners as well, I'll link that in the description box also. But once you get through your first couple of books and you've got a bunch of information saved away, then you're probably ready to do your first spell. You also probably have an idea of what kind of magic you're most interested in learning more about. So once you do have an idea of what kind of magic you want to start learning more about, or what kind of spells you want to start doing, then you can gather the ingredients to start doing those spells. Now, I will always suggest that your first spell be a protection spell, because once you decide you're going to be a witch, once you're like, hey, this is something that I'm going to be interested in, you're going to start noticing more things, you're going to be more open to different energies, and you want to make sure that you are protected in any magic that you're doing and any kind of like mind work, meditation, or anything like that you're doing. So I suggest doing a protection spell first. That's a great spell to practice. It's a great spell to just have done for yourself, so that you're not just like, hello everyone, like, get me, It's like, hopefully no one's trying to get you, but you know what I mean. You want to make sure that you are spiritually protected against anything. So for a protection spell, you can do just a simple spell just by yourself with no other tools, doing a bit of meditation on creating a protective bubble that's going to surround yourself and your home, or just yourself, it's up to you, with a protective wall of light, or it could be shaped like an egg, You know, when you're in the middle of the egg, you're the little yolk in the egg protected by your protective shell. Or you can be shaped like an elephant, or you can, you know, project like an animal figure out in front of you. Whatever you want your protective spell to take a form of, you imagine that really strongly in your mind and project that outwards. I do have a protection spell on the channel as well if you want to check that out, or you can Google a protection spell and try that one. Don't be afraid to try other people's spells in the beginning. Once you try enough spells from other people, you will find it very easy to write your own spells, which is where you want to be anyway, because spells are very specific to you, so you want it to be very personal in the end. Sorry, I have a cold and my throat is super sore. I don't know if you can tell. Raspy. I suggest you go ahead and try a bunch of different types of protection spells to see which one feels best to you. At this point, you can start to gather some of your tools as well. You can gather some herbs, you can gather some other tools that you're reading about in the books that you've gotten. I think that one of the greatest things that you can do, one of the easiest things that you can do, is go ahead right into your kitchen, pull out the herbs that you have in your herb cabinet, write down everything that you have in your BOS, and then write down what each of those herbs can be used for. How do I know what these herbs can be used for? Go ahead and Google it. You can either Google it, or you can get Cunningham's Book of Herbs, Cunningham's Herbal Mix. I call it something different every time. There are loads and loads and loads of books on herbs. They're all just from different perspectives. So I always suggest reading lots of things from lots of different perspectives, because then you can get as much information as you can, and then you can decide which one feels right for you. So write down all the herbs you have in your cabinet, and go ahead, you can even Google it and just look and see what each of these herbs can be used for in magic. That way, after you're done your protection spell, pardon me, depending on what you have in your cabinet, you may have the ingredients for a perfect love spell already. You can go ahead and get yourself a pink candle, dress that with the herbs you already have, and write yourself a love spell. It's trial and error. That's why it's called practicing magic. Always practicing and finding out new ways and better ways to perfect your magic. You're going to always going to be finding new things to add into your spiritual practice all of the time, because there are just continuously new discoveries happening on planet Earth, the Earth we live on. It is amazing. So just get ready to have 50 books of shadow. After you've written down all the herbs that you have in your cabinet, you probably have enough things to do a couple of spells actually. So you can go ahead and look online or look in a spell book. The Spells Bible is great. It is dated, it is old, and there are a lot of new spell books out there. Okay, so you've got your Book of Shadows, you've got some books on magic, you've got a couple of tools coming in, you've got some herbs, maybe you've got some candles from the dollar store. You want to set up your sacred space. Now, you don't have to have a table designated as your altar. If you want to, go ahead. If you have that space, dope. If you have the freedom in your home to do that, then do that. If you can't, you can always use the top of a dresser. You can always use a small table or a small little stool or something. You can even use a shelf on the wall as your altar, but you can use a very small space. You just want to make sure that the space is yours and that it's sacred, it stays clean and beautiful. The main thing for you to remember is that you're going to be studying for a while and you're going to be practicing for a while. It's a lot of visualization that goes on with magic, a lot of imagining, a lot of writing things down over and over again. There's a lot of just sitting outside in nature and listening and being present. And it's a lot of fun as well. It's a lot of tool gathering. It's a lot of like really beautiful magical things that you're going to be finding. You can like create your own magic wand. There's so many things that you can get into when you start practicing magic. It's such a fun and wonderful journey. It's also so helpful for your spirit because, like I said, there's so much meditation involved. There's so much just being present and calm and patient. Listening to my dog snoring, which you've probably been hearing her snore the whole time, and I just realized how loudly she was snoring, so I apologize. But it really is such a wonderful thing to get into, and there's so much to learn. There's so many different avenues that you can go into. So once you've got your book, once you've got some of your tools coming in, you've got some books that you're interested in, you're taking notes all the time, you're learning about the 5 elements, you're getting pretty good at protection spells, you want to try some new spells, and you're kind of honing in on one type of magic that you're most interested in. Once you feel like you're most interested in one type of magic and you'd like to kind of pursue that one more, pursue that one a little stronger, then you might want to do an initiation. An initiation is something that you can do with a group if you're part of a magic group, or if you're learning from a coven, or if you're like interested in joining a coven. Your coven will do an initiation for you. If you're someone who is solitary, then you can do an initiation yourself. And basically what an initiation is, sorry, I sound like such a sad, sick person. Basically what an initiation is. Basically what an initiation is, it's like your coming out ceremony. It's you saying, hi universe, here I am, Sabrina Spellman, I am a witch, I am going to be practicing magic to save the world, to preserve nature, to help heal animals, or to whatever your goal is with magic. I'm going to be bettering myself, I'm going to be making myself as strong as possible, or just going to be getting my goals, living my best life, making lots of money, you know, just being happy. Whatever it is that your goal is with your magic, this is you declaring that to the universe in a beautiful ritual ceremony. So what I like to do when I do an initiation is I create a candle for someone, or create a candle for myself. I dress it beautifully. I dress it with everything that has to do with me, what my path is, and then I take off all of my clothes because I love doing a naked initiation. Or I think you can also wear like something that's beautiful and sacred to you, your favorite outfit, whatever it is that you want to wear that makes you feel wonderful and good. And you write down on your mission statement. And this is just a statement that's declaring you as who you are, it's declaring you on your path, and you're just sewing your little patch on the witchy quilt of life, and you're placing it out into the universe saying, this is who I am, you know, I have arrived, and now I am ready to receive all the blessings and all the messages and all of the ancestor help and whatever it is that I want. I am ready for that now. I am on this path, and this is you like pledging yourself to this path. And it can be such a beautiful ceremony. You can play music, you know, you can eat delicious food, have a glass of wine, you can smoke a little blunt, like whatever you want to do. It's such a lovely ceremony to have. And I always suggest, like, if you're a witch already and you've been practicing your path for a long time and you're starting to lose the magic, or you're feeling like life is like mundane life is like getting to you, or you just feel like you're in a funk, a reinitiation just like recharges your juices and just sets fireworks off in the universe. And I'm telling you, like, your power will just come back to you like sevenfold. It's so awesome. So once you decide to do your initiation, I think your initiation should be kind of a big ceremony for yourself. Do it on a full moon. Practice writing your spell or your mantra or your mission statement that you're going to be stating to the universe at your initiation ceremony. Decide what you're going to wear. Like, make it a big deal. Get the ingredients ready for it. Other people know, like, I'm not going out tonight, I can't do so and so. No, I don't want to, you know, hang out with you. No, I can't, you know, it's me hanging up with my flip phone. This is my coming out party as a beautiful, enchanting being of earth, and so it's a big deal. Once you do your initiation, then it's just a lot more studying and practicing and learning spells and stuff like that. But still, it gets more and more fun. It's more and more exciting, especially when you're gathering your tools and making everything more specific to you. You can make your altar, you can make all of your tools in whatever color scheme you want. You can make them in whatever design that you want. You can always paint things. You can always get vintage pieces. There are loads of Etsy sellers that sell beautiful, beautiful witchcraft tools. You can just get things from all over the place and just make sure that it feels personal to you, and build your collection over time. Don't just try to rush out and buy, like, you know, $300 worth of witchy tools and herbs and blah, 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 blah. Getting things a few at a time is really important, because then you can really get quality things that will last you for a really long time in your witchy career. And then you can get things that are very specific to you, instead of just getting things that, you know, will be great for right now and then, you know, they'll break or whatever later. There are great subscription boxes and things like that where you can get tools in the mail. You know, I love the Witch's Box and the Witch's Book, where they send you tools in the mail with the Witch's Box every month, or they send you 2 books a month with the Witch's Book. It's really awesome. I can't speak highly enough of Etsy when it comes to buying any kind of magical tools, because it can be so personalized. You're buying from a person, you're supporting a person, and you can talk to them and know who they are. If you don't vibe with, like, you know, a company, then it's not going to feel right when you're using their tools for your magic. Get out there and explore and study and learn and gather and Google and YouTube and use every tool, use every social media tool, use everything that you can. It'll just be a beautiful, magical rainbow journey of love. This was a rainbow, if you didn't know. Okay guys, I'm gonna go because my throat is just gonna come out of my mouth and it's gonna be disgusting. I am doing a giveaway on my Instagram. I'm giving away a cauldron and a bell, which are 2 great tools that you will need if you are a beginner. So follow me on Instagram at mintfairy. I also have some more candles going up at my shop tomorrow, and I have some scarves going up at my shop tomorrow because it is freezing outside. It snowed today. Gross. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I wasn't talking too quickly, although I probably was. I hope that my nasty, snotty voice didn't gross anybody out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a beautiful day.